Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Crystal, the Crystalline Priestess, intuitive evolutionary astrologer and psychic tarot reader, and today's daily horoscope is for Tuesday the 10th of September 2024. So my loves, we are still coming off that Sun-Saturn opposition and we are still really feeling it. It actually feels as though today we might even be feeling slightly heavier with just the gravity that Saturn brings. I feel as though over the weekend and Monday, yesterday, we sort of had a day that was very eye-opening. It was very awakening. We had Mercury at 0 degrees of Virgo. I was about to say Mercury. Of Virgo, which is that yod point that I've spoken about a lot over the past few weeks that really has us connecting with God, connecting with spirit, connecting with the divine, and receiving messages about how we need to be moving forward and the adjustments and the changes that we need to be making and the systems and structures that we're setting up within our own lives in order to move forward in a healthier way, essentially. So today Mercury reaches 1 degree of Virgo, so he's actually moved off that yod point now. So we should be starting to integrate some of the lessons that we've really been having to work through over the past 3 weeks with Mercury being in retrograde. So when he comes out of retrograde, there is always a shadow period. Now that he's reaching Virgo again, he's coming to the end of his shadow period. I'm pretty sure he went retrograde at about 4 degrees of Virgo, but don't quote me because I always forget. So that's where maybe, this is very much in alignment with what we're needing to go through at the moment. So where do we need to actually improve certain things about what it is that we're doing? For me, I need to improve my memory or just improve my system about how I am memorizing these transits and things like that, so that I'm actually taking things in more and not getting mixed up with, oh, that's doing that and that's doing that and that's doing that, and then sort of getting lost. Virgo and Mercury being in Virgo and all this Virgo energy and the Sun being in opposition with Saturn in Pisces and the Sun being in Virgo is very much about us clearing through these systems and becoming aware of these systems and aware of where we've been going wrong or where we really haven't been diligent, is the word, in our delivery towards ourselves, and honoring ourselves in how we're actually needing to go about the tasks that need to be completed, the things that we need to do at the moment. With the Sun being in opposition with Saturn all weekend, all of us are dealing with things in life that are calling for us to mature. They're calling for us to level up. They're calling for us to take more responsibility. So today really feels like a day of just accepting that responsibility. The moon has just moved into Sagittarius, so we're finished with that moon in Scorpio. He's just finished his opposition with, I was about to say Taurus, with Uranus, who is in Taurus. So there should have been some quite spontaneous shifts in your perception yesterday. Spontaneous, maybe, I don't want to say awakenings, but like epiphanies, a thought that you realize, oh my god, I've been doing it this way this whole time when really I should have been doing it this way. It's very subtle. Virgo energy is subtle, and mutable energy is subtle as well, because fixed energy is really strong and focused and you notice it, So the moon making his opposition with Uranus on Monday would have sort of been like this stark, like, holy hell, this realization of this is the action that I need to take. And I'm actually going to use myself as an example. I mean, it is Monday when I'm filming this, so I've sort of been grappling this morning with this epiphany that the discipline, the one, and I spoke to this last week, but the one act of discipline that I implement into my day, that becoming a cornerstone of my personality, is actually the cornerstone to creating an entire life overhaul. So really what I'm trying to get at is realizing that just by basically deciding that I will get up at a certain time and that's what I do, and this is what, I wake up at 5 in the morning and I do my yoga practice and I do this every single day and this is what I do. Creating that discipline within myself, and I've actually gotten into swimming recently, I've been telling you guys about that. So me disciplining myself to actually go to the pool twice a week and to go swim. I swam 1.3 Ks yesterday. So that's the furthest I've ever swum in my life. And so now that I'm doing these things and I'm being disciplinary with myself and forcing myself to do them, I'm noticing a complete shift in how I feel like I'm showing up to my life and how I feel like I'm existing in my body, and everything feels like it's changing. But it's all starting from this really one small thing, which is just overhauling how I'm looking at discipline and how I'm actually using discipline in my life. And discipline is coming up for everybody because we have the Sun opposition with Saturn that we've just had this weekend, and because it's Virgo season, and Virgo this season anything that we have in Virgo is always going to be in an opposition with Saturn and Neptune. So we can't be getting lost in thinking that we don't need to put in the physical work for what it is that we're trying to achieve at the moment. Let's pull a card for the day. We also have Mars, who's reached 3 degrees of Cancer, which, you know, I've spoken a lot about how Mars doesn't like Cancer, but he is moving into a square with the nodes. So by the end of the week, we'll be getting closer to that, but Mars is actually moving really slowly at the moment. So it does feel as though the action that we're taking at the moment, the way we're able to actually make things happen, is a slow progress. It's about having patience. Patience is your greatest virtue, and that was coming up with the channeled song as well. Definitely check out the channeled song today, because it was basically just really talking about how patience is going to get us everywhere, and I just looked at 555 on the camera as I said that. So the cards that we have today is the King of Cups and the Three of Pentacles, which I love because this is about really feeling into collaborating, I think, with others. And also, you know, on Tuesday today, it really is about seeing where this King of Cups, he's a master of his emotions. He's a master of the way he feels. He doesn't let his emotions rule him. He rules over his emotions. So with the King of Cups being here and the Three of Pentacles, this is about us realizing that we need to be emotionally mature and we need to start working with people around us. We need to start working with friends. We need to start collaborating in order to receive more. I feel like there's a, you know, Virgo energy is hermit energy. So a lot of people don't realize this, but Virgo is actually such a hermit. It's such a hermit vibe. It really, it likes to stick to its structures and its routines, and it likes to continue sort of like, you know, doing the similar things. It's not so much an energy that's obsessed with the comfort zone, but it is an energy that just likes to keep repetitively doing things that feel as though they're working. So this is about maybe not being so hermit and maybe allowing ourselves to come out a little bit of the shell. I feel like with the King of Cups, it feels like for a long time we might have had our emotions really held close to our hearts. And so I think that this is us seeing how emotionally we're actually becoming a lot stronger and we're becoming a lot more grounded, because we're, you know, this is the discipline energy. This is us really taking stock and taking taking note of the progress that we've actually made. And we have the Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck with Judgment underneath that. So I feel as though we've been judging ourselves really harshly for a long time. And that's the thing, Saturn opposition with the Sun over the weekend as well could have had you feeling as though you're judging yourself, judging where you've gotten to, judging that you haven't gotten far enough in life and all these things. So with the Three of Pentacles coming out with the King of Cups, it really is about using your intuition, using your connection with spirit. This is very spiritual, because even though, you know, the Sun is in an opposition with Saturn, this is the axis of spirit and reality. And in my opinion, I really believe that in order to have a healthy reality, we also have to have a healthy spirituality. Both are in tandem and both go side by side. So in order to create in the physical world, we need to be tapped into the spirit world, spirit realm. So not in like a woo-woo crazy way where it's just like, I'm just going to think I actually wrote this in my diary this morning, and my guides are bringing me to it. But I pretty much wrote, it's not your thoughts that create your reality. It is the action that you take as a result to the thoughts that you've had about the creation of your reality. It's about the actual physical things that you do. It's about the action that you put into place once you get the idea, you know what I mean? So this is where discipline really is super duper important, because that discipline is going to set you free and going to give you a lot more confidence. I feel like at the moment, discipline breeds confidence. And so if you can really be in this energy of knowing what is the, like, judgment, you know, judging what is best for you and judging whether that, you know, the fact is discipline sucks. That's why people don't do it. And that's why it is so life-changing, because it's something that asks us to do something we don't want to do. It's much easier to just be like, oh, well, I don't feel like running today, so I'm not going to do it, than it is to decide that you're going to run every single day, besides when you're bleeding, if you're a woman on your cycle. But you're going to run every single day for the next, 6 weeks or something, training for something. You know, you're going to get up and you're going to do that run even if you don't feel like it. You're going to make the judgment call that actually breeds confidence. So confidence at the moment is really something that's coming up. Now we have the Seers of Mintaka, seeing potential and bringing unconsciousness to light. So I really like this, and I really like that with that King of Cups, because I feel like today is a day of really seeing where we have unconsciously been putting too much pressure on ourselves to have achieved more. I think that it feels as though this is a day where we're needing to wake up to the reality that we're not actually physically able to get as much done as we mentally think that we should. You know, with all this Virgo, we could be mentally thinking that we need to be in this place, but with Saturn being in Pisces and its opposition, we're saying, but we're not physically there yet. Things are still sloppy. Things are still messy. You know, I'm even looking at myself. I'm like, you know, I feel like I'm like improving so much physically in my body and everything, but my hair's still a mess. Everything's still a mess. Like, we're still not really where we want to be, but we are well and truly on the way. I really, really like that. I feel like seeing the potential. This is a day to see through where we could actually reach if we allow ourselves to continue. I was about to say fighting, but like to continue, I suppose, yeah, fighting for what it is that we truly deem valuable, what we truly deem to be worthwhile, and what we truly deem to be like the goal. You know, the goal has to have a purpose. The goal has to have a reason. It has to have something driving you towards it. So I think that today is really a day about seeing what is driving us, what is calling us forward, because we've come to a point where we're ready to start embracing new energy, you know, and not being so emotionally dragged down all the time. With this King of Cups, it's about being emotionally resilient. And then we have the Messiah archetype. Light attribute says serving humanity with humility. The shadow attribute is an exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. So with the Messiah coming out, this really is a beautiful day about understanding that you are here to be in service, and whatever that service is going to look like for you, it's going to be different for every single person. But serving humanity with humility is really about being in this humble energy, because the sun being in opposition with Saturn all weekend as well is an ego check. The sun, when he meets with Saturn, is basically being schooled on how to have a healthy ego. And I'm saying this as someone who was born with my sun exactly conjunct Saturn. And right now I have all of these things on top of it because my sun is a 15-degree Pisces sun. And you guys can see where Saturn is right now. So you can see that that's on top of me. Now, that's a really, really tough thing, because honestly, when the sun is in connection with Saturn, this is you having to deal with ego issues and having to deal with being shat on, and also having to deal with, it's not so much being shat on, but just having experiences that cause you to need to sort of identify and create your own sense of identity, and to not be so over the top, because Saturn's here to tone it down and to not essentially give rise to this mentality that because I've achieved something, I am the be-all and end-all. I'm literally, like, this morning I watched Yannick Sinner win the US Open, and literally, like, I love Yannick because he has this humble, chill, like, it's literally the humility. It's the humility. He has this attitude where it's just like, obviously he's proud of himself, obviously he's worked his fucking ass off to get there, but he, you know, he just is respectful when he actually achieves what it is that he set out to do. So this is about climbing that mountain, but being respectful as you go, you know, and being patient with yourself and being patient with the process. And that was something he brought up as well, was the emotional thing. This win that he had was hard because he didn't even think he'd get there because his auntie's so sick, and he dedicated his win to her, you know. So it's about this emotional thing. Anything that we're building in life, the reality is that it comes from our emotional world first, you know. And I suppose that's why the manifestation community gets so worked up with this thoughts create your reality and your feelings create your reality and all this shit, because in a way it sort of does, because our feelings are what guide us into knowing what it is that we value and what it is that we truly connect with and all these things. But at the same time, with Saturn being here and, you know, this whole reading, it's about understanding that our feelings, while they can be an amazing compass, are not always the best guide. That's why Neptune being in Pisces has been so delusional, has been so tough for so many people. And I say that as someone who had Neptune on my sun 5 years ago, and it's been the hardest thing. Like, I look forward to Neptune getting the F out of Pisces because, like, it's been heavy. And so this is just us all dealing with the heaviness and us all dealing with moving forward in a way that feels like it's bringing more power to us because we're making the physical choices and we're doing the things that we've been putting off, because we're really ready to adjust the system now and to start making these little disciplinary changes that really are going to show up emotionally. They're going to show up emotionally and excite us because, like I was just saying, you know, your emotions, it's not that they create your reality, they help you to understand what the fuck reality you want to even build. You know, this King of Cups is giving me like sitting here and feeling into the life you truly want to lead, the life you truly want to be. It's a spiritual and it's a physical thing. The starfish is making me think of dreams and wishes and hoping, and not so much, that's the thing. Hoping is futile. Just hoping is going to get you nowhere. What was it? I think it's like hope without a plan, or a vision without a goal, without a vision is literally just illusion. It's just hope. It's nothing. So it's beautiful to have hope, but that hope has to have something solid to hold on to, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. So I'm going to leave this reading there. I'm sorry this was a bit longer of a reading again, but this is another big, strong week where we have really strong, like outer planet, not so much outer planet with Saturn, but just big, strong energies that we really need to sort of talk about. So I love you guys so much. Please do let me know in the comments what is going on with you, what's going down, how are these transits affecting you. Please give this a like if you enjoyed it, because it really does help to spread these videos to more astro nerds like you and me. Do check out the channeled song for the day. If you want to book a personal tarot or astrology reading with me, you can do that through my link tree down below. The website is still down. I love you guys with my whole heart, and I will see you in tomorrow's daily scoop. Peace.